Tamron 17-28mm F2.8, a full frame lens I've been using on my Sony A6400. That's right, full frame lens on a crop sensor camera. Alright, so this is something that confused me for a while. Using full frame glass on a crop sensor, what happens? Like what's the deal with that? So what happens is that this is designed to be on a larger sensor. And so we're essentially cropping, if it was a full frame, to make the aps-c sensor. So it still works just fine. If anything, it'll be a little bit sharper edge to edge. But the sacrifice and the trade-off is you're putting a much bigger piece of glass on your camera to achieve something that could be done with a smaller lens with the aps-c equivalent. But now why would you want to do this? Well, if you're someone like me who's been looking into getting a full frame lens and still using on this camera for now, the A6400, is getting me prepared for when I do have full frame, I'll have some good glass to go with it. And investing in glass is never a bad decision. Now on the flip side, if you have aps-c sensor lenses and you try to put them on full frame, what's going to happen is you're going to get a crazy vignette because the glass is not designed for a bigger sensor. So it won't work at all basically, unless your camera like the A7 III has a crop mode. Then you can get away with it, but what's the point of getting full frame if you're just going to run it in a crop mode? So this was the decision I made to try to future-proof myself so that when I do eventually make that jump to full frame, I will be ready because I'll have a lens. Alright, so I watched a bunch of reviews on this lens before I bought it, as you do. And a lot of people were saying that the build quality is not the best. That being said, I think it's pretty good. I don't have anything to compare it to as far as like native Sony lenses that are double the price of this thing. They're insanely expensive, but overall I think it's pretty good. Yes, you do have a plastic bottom here. The rubber around the focus and the zoom ring feel really nice. It does have a weather seal, big bonus. Because it's an internally zooming barrel, it doesn't extrude at all. You don't have to worry about dust or any dirt getting into there, so that's a really nice factor. It's got that 2.8 f-stop, so you get a really shallow depths of field, which looks really nice, especially for these sort of things. Right now the lens I'm filming on is only an f4, and you know, it's not very blurry, it's not really pleasing, so you slap this guy on and you'll have a really pleasing image. So one drawback is it doesn't have any stabilizing in this lens, which paired with the A6400 is kind of a big deal because that body doesn't have anything as well, so it's pretty shaky. It's definitely put it on a tripod or a gimbal. When you put it on a gimbal, it's nice since it doesn't have the barrel that comes in and out. You don't have to worry about rebalancing, so that's a big bonus in that aspect. And it is a small, fairly light lens compared to a lot of others, so it fits pretty nice on a gimbal, which I like. But definitely the biggest thing about this lens is for this price point, man, is it a sharp lens. It blew me away the first time I took some pictures with it because I did not expect it to be so good. This is like the first picture I ever took with it. And then I did another shoot with my buddy with the same car there doing light trails. And that was like pretty late at night. And so having that 2.8 is great because you can get those really good low light shots and they're so sharp. It's amazing how good they look. So overall, I'm really impressed with this lens and I'm pretty happy with the purchase. So when I do eventually go full frame, I'll be ready. So. But if you're like me and have a crop sensor body and are planning on going full frame, then this lens is definitely up your alley. It's a very, very sharp wide angle lens, has a good price point, has the weather seal. There's a lot going for it that makes it a really good purchase to help you get into full frame glass. If you're not planning on upgrading to the full frame and you want to stick with aps-c sensors, then maybe it's not for you. It's still a pretty good price point for what it is, but there are better alternatives in the crop sensor form factor that you might want to consider instead of this. But all in all, for a wide angle lens for the price point, getting a 2.8, it's a good purchase. So hopefully this video helped you guys out. If you did, you know, maybe consider hitting subscribe and sticking around for more videos. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Don't know what it's going to be, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.